And so I said, I can see you, I can see you, I can see you. Help.
I can sing.
I can sing, I can sing.
He can talk, he can talk. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
Dr.
Ooh,
Zayas.
Dr. Zayas.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Slalt Cast.
We're extremely distracted because we've decided to use webcams for this one. You guys can't see the webcams.
But we can see
each other. And now I can time when I'm going to cut Kobe off better.
Oh, wait.
I'm editing.
I'm editing.
Hang on.
And if Caden was here, this would be a bloodbath.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
speaking of
jeez.
Caden, I just want to open the episode. Last week, I'd like to apologise on behalf of Joseph and myself. We were extremely rude last week. It was so uncalled for. We feel really bad, and to make up for it, to make a better ease of podcast, we've completely kicked him out this week. So it's just myself, Dan, and Joseph.
Actually, while we're on the topic of last week's podcast, there's a little bit of housekeeping I'd like to address.
Yeah.
I've told Kobe this, I haven't told Joseph, but every week I slave away and write a pretty detailed description of the podcast. I make sure I cover all the points we talked about. I write it in a funny way.
I saw you didn't even bother
our
writing
heroes. Well, this week I was fairly certain no one was ever reading them because I thought they were pretty funny, but I was like, here, let's test it. And so for last week's episode 24, the description was, I'm 90% sure that no one reads these descriptions, but if you do read them, DM Dan the code word babababooey on Instagram, and I'll PayPal the first person to do it $5. No one has DM'd me as of yet. It's currently Monday. We've got until Thursday is when this episode comes out, is when I'll close that contest. But yeah, no, it's good to know that my work is being appreciated every week.
Yeah. That kind of
Yeah,
sucks.
and you all missed $5. Lauren and Lawrence, you have missed out on $5.
Our only two listeners. Well, apparently, a lot of the Kingscliff people listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That general area. I don't think they're all from Kingscliff.
Nah, they're spread out a little bit, yeah.
But it's Caden's friends. So thank you. We've kicked Caden off the podcast, but thank you for continuing to listen. No, Caden's off. He's abandoned us. I think he's seeing Akira.
Yeah, it's cool. Speaking of Caden and being in a band, good segue.
He a band.
A band of
And
merry
He
men.
abandoned.
We abandoned him.
So something very exciting happened on Wednesday,
Yeah,
didn't it?
on Wednesday. We
He
spoke
lost his
about it last
virginity.
week, but no.
Ah, damn.
What I did, I just made a funny facial
Yeah,
expression,
and
and
we
because
can-
we have webcams,
react.
God, this is going to be awful for the listeners, but great for us.
Yeah.
We can now say Joseph is on his phone.
Yeah, he's doing something.
I don't like this.
We can hold each other accountable
Did you
now.
message someone Root X? Is that what you just did?
No, I'm on Tinder.
Ah, okay. So
Messaging camera.
No, I just did.
his
Wait,
capture
can you
card.
see it? No, you can't.
no.
This is excellent audio
Excellent,
content.
yeah.
Yep,
come
audio
on.
listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you to all listeners.
So last week we had our Southbound had their first gig post COVID. It was at the Vanguard in Newtown. It was really fun.
Okay, now imagine Dugan's here yelling at you to hype it up. Now
Oh,
go back,
sorry.
walk it back, and tell
Okay,
that
sorry.
again, but more excited.
So
Just on here to get absolutely railed with no strings attached. So just go back to what you're doing. So, can you see it?
Oh, goddamn.
goddamn,
Joseph, that's a bot. That's a bot.
No, she didn't match with me. I'd still like
Joseph,
it.
that's a bot.
Okay, well, yeah, go. Yep. So,
Anyway, continue. Now,
yeah, so-
give us
so-
the Dugan edition of the story.
You're not hyping it up enough. It has to go like this. The boys showed up in Newtown, played the best gig of their lives, fucking got up there, they played their show, they fucking killed it, got pissed, and then that was good night.
That was actually a pretty good Dugan impression.
Thank you.
You forgot the
Basically.
bit with the cum on the ear.
Oh, in post, I'm gonna
So,
like
that's a
cut
bit
that out
salty.
and like put a filter on it so it sounds bad mic quality.
Oh, like
And,
yellow.
you know,
Just put your mic in front of a desk fan and just have that as like room tone.
I'll just put over it me going. Boo.
Use that exact sound pipe, but don't cut it properly, so it's bo.
But which brings me to another talking point, and arguably more important than me doing the thing I love.
I think we should dwell on the quality of the gig.
It was
I
really
thought you
good.
guys were excellent.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
I
you
think-
very much.
I think everyone agreed that was probably like,
Southbound
you guys'
is
best gig.
significantly better than Cinderwinds, I will say.
Yep, but still not as good as the Neophyters.
Well, technically, this is our first proper gig as Southbound.
That's my point. Like,
Yeah.
since
Is
you
it
guys played
actually?
a Cinderwinds, I thought it was a lot.
because we were going to
better.
play one in March, remember, but that's been pushed back to March of 2021.
Oh, has it?
That's crazy that Lansdowne's been delayed a whole year.
Yeah, a whole
I feel like
entire
on
year.
3 separate podcasts we've advertised or like talked about advertising
Yeah.
Lansdowne,
And
and
it's-
yeah,
And
well,
it's,
it was originally at Carringbar. It wasn't even Lansdowne.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was Kangaroo Hotel.
yeah. So, but then COVID happened, and then things fell through, and then this gig happened. And we've got another gig, speaking of, if you
On
missed
the day
out
this podcast comes
on the
out.
day this podcast,
Oh,
comes
did you?
out. Yeah, it's at UOW Uni Bar. So if
Are you going down, Dan?
What time is it?
we're on at like 7:10 on for like 25 minutes.
Maybe. Do you wanna? I finish work at 4. Anyway, we should talk about this
Finish
off
work
air.
at 4:30.
So what? Sorry, what was that, Dan?
No, so continue. I'll talk about this off air. Yeah. It was good, guys. We're on the air. This is a radio show.
Oh,
We
sorry.
do radio.
We do radio.
Kobe, bring us back from commercial break.
Oh shit. Sorry. We'll be right back.
And you're listening to KGB2FM. I don't know. That might be an actual
KGB.
radio station.
The-
The KGB.
The KGB.
I just said some letters.
Yeah.
Fucking
weirdly
communist.
specific
You
letters.
commie.
Yeah. Get out of this capitalist country. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. So for the audio listeners, Dan has a setup where he can change.
I can basically do what we do. If you guys don't know, we stream live on twitch.tv/Slalt Cast every Monday and Wednesday and sometimes on other days. And the way that I have my camera set up in Discord, I can use what we do for the stream. Sorry, I'm being thoroughly distracted by Joseph right now. I can use what we do for the stream as my webcam. And on the stream, we do a bit of a comedy bit where I have an image of Mario, and I've cut out the eyes and I put my eyes behind it, and then I become Mario. And so I'm just cheekily dropping that in here and now on the podcast. Great audio content. I'm sure you guys will see it one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. Anyway, do you want me to
So
go?
the gig.
The gig.
Talk us through the set list. What did you guys play?
Well, we began with one of our originals. Joseph. We're
Joe's
doing
just
an
doing
audio
comedy for
podcast.
no- I knew this would go poorly.
We're doing an audio
Kobe,
podcast.
just don't address it,
Okay, sorry.
and
Um,
you take his power away.
so
That's
we
what I
did-
thought you guys were going to do, or I was just going to light it up in the middle, but then you guys ruined it.
And that would have ruined the audio.
So we did one original. It's called Dreamland. It's a Boma written song. It's Boma's song. But
So originally, The Policeman it was called.
yes, it was. We can get into that song when it's eventually released. Yeah, thank you.
I was the only one that knew the lyrics to that song, and I was the
Yeah,
only one
thank you.
singing. I was the only one.
Thank you.
It's almost like I had to fucking mix that thing for 12 hours.
God, it's almost like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy that we have only one
that
qualified
and
audio engineer on the podcast. It's crazy.
That one and other song is one of our demos that have been released on Bandcamp, which is Patient Zero, which we played later in the set. Then we covered Dark Necessities by Chili Peppers. I didn't sing it. Dylan, our other guitarist, sung it.
He was surprisingly decent.
Yeah, he was practicing. It was funny. We were in sound check, and you know the keyboard bit where it's just him and the drums, where it goes dun, 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 dun. In sound check, he fucked that up.
Oh god.
and then he stopped.
He pulled
and
it
was
out
like,
on the night, you know.
Yeah, because he spent the rest of the night practicing it before the set. I kind of botched that song, the solo, a little bit, but you know.
couldn't really hear it. Luckily, if you botched it.
Yeah, thank you.
'Cause-
Yeah, I didn't notice. I thought you guys were pretty much.
I thought it was really good because
Mm.
you couldn't hear individual notes. You could just kind of, and if you knew the song, you kind of understand.
Yeah. And then we did another original. It's called Untitled. It also doesn't have a name.
Just have it keep it as Untitled.
Yeah, it is. It is called Untitled. It doesn't have a name.
That was a great bit. I hope you should have introduced it like that. This song's called Untitled. It doesn't have a name. That would have been funny.
I did
Instead
say
of
this
saying
song doesn't have
whatever
a name.
Yeah, but you should have said.
Yeah.
It's like
Instead of
one
saying whatever virgin thing you said.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
it's like fucking the 2000s pop punk bands that had the names of the song were about 3 paragraphs.
Take off your pants and jacket.
I write sins, not tragedies. Basically, the entire first Panic at the Disco.
This ain't a scene. It's a arms race.
Don't waste your time on me.
I'm already the voice inside my head.
Yeah. And then we covered Oasis's Don't Look
Wonderwall.
Back. Jeremy sang that. I was on
beautiful.
the drums for that one. We fucking nailed that one, let me tell you. I think we
That one's a classic that's a
Yeah.
Cinderwinds classic.
Yeah.
You guys been doing that. It is always a banger.
Yeah, and then we finished off with Patient Zero, like I said. That's also on Bandcamp. And then we finished up on Bamboo, which we fucked up. We fucked that song so hard.
It's good because we didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
Good.
I
good.
Guys, because I don't know the...
I know, I noticed, but no one else did because they couldn't tell.
Yeah. But yeah, that was good. It was a 30-minute set. It was extended to 35 minutes because Boma and Dylan have never been on a stage before. And then we watched good friends of the band Dog Pound, now good friends of the band, the Mad Lads. And then I didn't stay the entire night because I had work the next day. But then we stayed for a bit of Radical's gig.
We're about halfway through. Then it got to about 11:30, and we're like, no, we have to go home now. Like everyone's got work in like 6 hours.
So all in all, it was a really good night.
Anyone else?
So what was your opinion? Not really. What was your opinion of the COVIDness of the gig? Because it was, I feel like that would have been a much higher capacity venue if not for COVID. Like a couple.
Yeah,
like
everyone would have
people.
been filled in there like it was fucking sardines.
Instead, we were all seated.
Yeah.
For the whole time. How did that affect you from like a performance perspective, Kobe? Did it change their vibe in the room?
A little bit. Like a majority of the gigs we've played, like back in school, people were sitting down in the hall and whatnot.
I guess you got that. I was thinking more like compared to the Brass Monkey, where we were literally like fucking less than a meter from your face, screaming back at you. Yeah,
100%. It did change the vibe a little bit. Like it felt awkward to dance. I like to dance while I'm up on stage. I've got strap
you went hard. You did it.
Yeah, I'm all about stage presence. If nobody has stage presence, like what the fuck are you doing up there? Especially like if you're not standing in front of a microphone singing. That's just my opinion though. It's not like at TAFE last year, Joseph. Fucking every one of those people in the
the performance class. That was so
performance
shit.
class would just stand there with their microphones going like their head down, like fucking like that. And it's so embarrassing.
Mate, you're living the rock star lifestyle.
Yeah. But the stage was also pretty small, so like moving around was inhibited anyway.
I don't know how Dog Pound went. They had like 7 members.
Yeah, they had like they had 5. Half the people in the venue got up on stage.
But
the green room felt empty after that.
You never went into the green room. Shut up.
I never did actually.
It was mad. It was a mad vibe.
Green room.
Well, I wonder why. Because
yeah, but no, it didn't really affect it at all. Like you guys were still heckling from the back, so
yeah, we were.
I did yell a few things.
I yelled many.
Things. And
Mm.
that helped out a lot in terms of like setting the mood and shit like that.
Boma Get a Haircut was a crowd favorite.
Yeah, Boma Get a Haircut.
Which he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Pussy. He gave in.
But I think more importantly, the most important thing that night is we met Joseph's doppelganger. We met Brooke for the first time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say met
Doppelganger means that they look the same. They don't look the same.
All right.
They don't look the same.
One of my
Trust me, they don't look the same.
Hey Joseph, can you grow your hair really long and then dye it red?
Planning on not the red part, but I'll do it.
She has less toes than you.
You're gonna go Fabio. You're gonna go Fabio.
Of course, I'm gonna go Fabio. No, it's
You
Paolo.
can't pull it off.
Hey, look, it's already. I put it in a bun tonight. That's how cool.
Yeah, homie's got the top knot.
I pull it off better than you do. But yeah. After meeting Brooke, comedic value has been lost. Like
how so? You said this. You said this in our podcast topics chat, like at the day after the gig.
Yeah.
And I would have thought that would have only enhanced the comedy.
Well, no, because like now that we've met her, like it becomes a personal thing. Like now we know that her physical presence in the world, and it's sort of distracting to say that she is Joseph.
We didn't know that she was a physical presence in the world.
Yeah, like up until that point, it was like Schrodinger's Brook, you know?
I want you to know that I was being sarcastic then.
Yeah, no, he was not agreeing with you,
I
Kobe.
was not agreeing with you on that one.
What you've done is you've missed the social cue.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
Joseph has disappeared.
Joseph has disappeared.
I clicked the wrong thing.
Yes, you did. Did you try to click on the topics so then you accidentally
Yes.
the...
Yeah.
You should turn your
also
camera
put
back
your
on.
camera back on, please.
Back.
But
Guys, we have fun here.
yeah. But like the jokes now like just don't make sense because like she's real, you know. she's real.
Because she's real.
I don't know why you're
never
so
real
confused.
before.
We
She was never
can't
real
say
before.
she's
Okay,
Joseph
here's
anymore
the other
because
side of the
Joseph and her
story.
were literally in the same room.
They were. They're not the same. They're not the same. They're not
They
the same.
they both were trying to fuck you. So
Okay, when you said they were both trying to, like, I didn't know what you were going to say after that, so I was very scared.
Well, if you want to know the flip side of the coin, it's been a kind of a bit of podcast and stream lore that Brooke loves having a dig at Kobe. When we got back to hers after, she said that she was disappointed at how good you guys were because now she feels bad making jokes because you guys are actually good.
was this mid coitus?
No, it was not.
That's unfortunate.
I'm going to assume she was at that ovulating.
Look, let's not get into that, honestly.
Why
Wait, what's
would you-
ovulating?
That's a part of the menstrual cycle.
The menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
We know about women's bodies
Yeah,
here.
we do.
Do you know
Not
that-
Joseph,
brings
apparently.
which
Do you know
brings
that
us to
three
Kobe's
holes?
anti...
What? Sorry,
Do you know
Dan.
that 3 holes? I didn't know that.
Did you?
We got fan art made of us this week.
They did.
Our good friend of the show, been on the show, episode 10, the landmark episode. Good friend of the show, biggest friend, number one fan, big friend. Lauren-
I'd argue now contender for biggest contributor to.
Lawrence has still contributed more posts, but this was a original artwork.
Well, Lawrence
Not to
hasn't,
say
been,
that
Lawrence hasn't
Lawrence
been on the
hasn't-
podcast.
He
So
hasn't
I-
been on the...
so
That's
I think-
why...
So I think Lauren is the...
We're talking about Lauren. Lauren, number one
Lauren is number
fan.
one. Is number one fan.
Lawrence,
yeah.
number one contributor. That's why separate titles exist. Anyway,
Yeah.
Lawrence made us some fucking sick fan art. I'll put them up on the... They're on the Instagram stories over the weekend, but I'll post them. So Kobe remind me to post them.
Okay. Dan, this is a reminder for you to post them.
Fuck, now I'm gonna have to listen to this. No. She was doing these sketches of like her followers on her art account because she hit a follower milestone. And she was like, she did a sketch of me whinging about. She did like a sketch and then a quote for each person. She did a sketch of me talking like, and then the quote was me whinging about doing the 9-hour stream that time, and then she did one of Kobe saying his dick was small or something.
No, it was
I
just
don't think
Kobe,
it was
let's
that.
get political solar.
Yeah.
From last week's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking sick. That was awesome. We got fan art. That's like a milestone.
Yeah, it is. It's mad.
Because it was directly podcast related as well, which is awesome.
Lauren's fantastic. Lauren is just a fantastic human being. And I don't think we say that enough, like, on the podcast.
Yeah, no. Lauren, number one fan, also a fantastic artist, also a fantastic human.
Yes.
And honestly, she's doing the world a service dating, you know.
Yeah. He'd be lost.
Really helping out the little guy.
Yeah, he'd be fucked.
That's so
I don't think he
mean.
knows his lefts from rights.
No, he doesn't know his red from his green or the other colors because he's colorblind.
Or blue.
Who,
I
Matt?
probably can see blue. Yeah.
Yes, Matt. Thank you for paying attention, Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph, come on. We're here. We're trying to.
I
keep
love that
snappy.
you're going on your phone even when we know when you're on your phone. Is this how it feels to be a teacher back in high school?
I don't know, probably.
When you're so blatantly on your phone. It's like,
You got the one at the back of the class. Just fucking...
Again, you can't say that word.
Class.
Just remember to you can't say class. We don't believe in the class structure here. Everyone's equal.
Classism is a big issue in America. Speaking of issues
know
in
in
America,
Oh, here we go.
somebody
Pakistan,
named
30%
Roe
of
Jogan
male
Joe
thinks-
Rogan.
Joseph, we had a perfect segue into a topic we're actually going to talk about. You tried your best.
Well, no,
to
did you know in
derail.
Pakistan 30% of males think it's
So
okay to rape
Joe
a child?
Rogan, Roe Jogan, Mo Mogan.
That's
had
that's the
Kanye
face
West,
I'm looking at, Dan.
had
Okay, wait.
Kanye
Sorry,
West.
Kobe, can you say that again, please? Sorry. Can you say
Do you want
that
to
again?
start this clean, Kobe, so that you can cut it?
Okay, ready. I forget my segue now. I forget what it
No,
was.
you don't have to do the segue. Do the
No, but the
Joseph
segue
Rogan.
was so
Rogan.
perfect.
Yeah, no, use the segue. and then just use the start from the Joseph Ronald Reagan.
Ronald McDonald Rojogan had Kanye West on his podcast.
Pause your topic. What happened to the Hamburglar? Where is he? What's he doing now? What is his motives? Here on the Slalt Cast, we have two figures which we're investigating: the Hamburglar and Jetpack Man.
Do you think Caden actually got abducted by Jetpack Man for asking too many questions?
The Jetpack Man listens to every podcast known to man just to see if anyone's talking about him. When he got questioned about his motives,
he's been taken. Does that mean Hamburglar's coming for me now?
No.
Alright, Dan.
I just want my Big Mac. But seriously, what happened to all the other the purple cunt and the
grimace
and the duck chick?
Yeah, I don't remember her name. Why do you guys remember the Macca's characters' names other than the Hamburglar first?
Because the grimace.
And second, what happened to them?
Purple nugget. I think that's what he was.
He was not a purple nugget.
I think it was what happens to the strawberry thick shake when you leave it outside for a couple of days.
Why would you ever get a strawberry thick shake though? That's beside the point.
No, it's not. Do you reckon that Macca should lend the Hamburglar to like Hungry Jack's?
We're considering now Hungry Jack's is as good, if not better.
But my point is, like, so in the States they have the King because they're Burger King, but here, like, who's Jack? Maybe the Hamburglar's real identity is Jack
The Ripper
from Hungry Jack's,
no,
and then that can be, and then that's how they. So, guys,
have we just solved the Jack the Ripper?
I've solved something else. How do you think? Okay, guys, fucking tinfoil hats on. This is
my
big.
tinfoil hat is always on. How
do you think that Hungry Jack's got the Big Mac sauce?
They used the
fucking Hamburglar.
Oh
He stole it. He fucking stole it. And then they made the McJack, the
Big Jack,
whatever
the
they fucking called it.
Kobe just fell over.
kicked my guitar. I'm standing up.
Holy shit. Guys, I think we know too much. If I'm not on next week's episode, you know what happened. Tell my story.
I'm closing my window. I don't want
guys, they're watching
the damn government to hear.
Anyway, Kanye on Joe Rogan.
Kanye was on
Is that
Joe
what we were
Rogan.
talking about before this? Jeez.
Yeah,
that's
Kobe got
right.
one sentence into his fucking thing and like immediately derailed it.
Yeah. So Kanye West was on Joe Rogan. What do you guys think about Kanye West running for the 2020 president seat?
Honestly, I think he's the best choice.
He's an idiot.
I like how he's Catholic and doesn't understand how the world works. I think that would make him a good leader of America.
I'm pretty sure you're just describing Trump.
Yeah.
Though he may not be
Trump's
Catholic, he just is like Anglican
Trump's
or
not
whatever
Catholic,
the fuck.
He's just a fan.
What are all the Americans like? Protestant? Church of England?
Yeah. I mean, they're all Christian or some kind.
Yeah,
some sort of hillbilly.
There's a lot of denominations over there.
Anyway, goddamn, can that man talk?
He can.
Kanye, that is. Holy shit. He just... For the first, 2 hours of that podcast, it was just him ranting. And he'd say something and it'd trigger something in his brain and he'd just go in another direction.
Well, they were symphonies, Dan.
He was... Yeah, no, they weren't talking. He was giving them a symphony.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I wanted to...
Kanye West is pretty scatterbrained. It was kind of interesting. I don't listen to Joe Rogan that often, unless he's got a really interesting guest on.
I listened to the Matthew McConaughey one immediately after, and that's a whole nother thing.
Is it?
Wait, what's the Matthew McConaughey one?
Well, he was just Matthew McConaughey's a crazy man. Because you guys know how he got his start in Hollywood.
He was selling weed to actors, wasn't he? Or is that
No,
someone else?
he was an extra on. I'm forgetting the name of the movie. I'm going to quickly Google it. He was Dazed and Confused was what it was. He was an extra on Dazed and Confused. You're supposed to have 3 speaking lines, and he ended up having doing 3 days of shooting, 3 weeks of shooting. Sorry, because the director liked him so much, and so he was talking about that in the podcast. And he's like, yeah, a summer job. I thought it was going to be 3 days. It ended up being 3 weeks. And then he's like, so I was in LA and I auditioned for 100 roles, thinking that if I got even one, that'd be amazing. And then the next day I got calls back from all 100 and it was just so easy. He was saying shit like that, with no perspective on how crazy that is. Or how much everyone else has to struggle. Like, honestly, I respect Joe for not losing his shit at these guests and, like, the insane shit they say.
But isn't he insane as well?
Yeah, Joe Rogan's
He's insane, but he's a different kind of insane.
Yeah.
He's like he's so regular, he's insane. Is that like...
Like, so there was a bit in the Kanye one where... So Kanye just kind of ranted about being Kanye for 2 hours. It was a 3-hour podcast. And then there's a point where Joe was like, I actually want to ask you some questions about the presidency. Because that was, like, the guise of the interview was, like, it was discussing how he's running for president.
Yeah.
And there was a point where he asked him about weapons, and we'll get back to that. But he asked him about what he's going to do about student loans and stuff. If he had any plans for that. And Kanye just rambles for half an hour about the national debt.
Yeah.
And how he's going to solve the national debt off a question of student loans. And then, like, Joe, I'll give the man credit. He fucking kept himself composed. And then at the end was like, you know what, you made some very good points. Like, regarding, like, finance or whatever. I'm like, how are you keeping your cool like that? If Kobe said anything that Kanye said in that, I would have slapped him. I would have driven to his house and slapped him.
See,
what do you mean? It's like talking to
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan made
sense
sense of some of it though, which
he
was
did.
like
He really tried his best to put it together.
It did like a TLDR at the end of it.
Basically, yeah, and it was like,
well, it's not even that. He took like 2 loose points that like Kanye might have said by accident and strung them together into a cohesive thought, and then Kanye just said yes.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I thought like the president stuff was gonna, that Kanye running was gonna like, it was gonna. What are you so excited about, Joseph? What are you so excited about?
I was making the joke that like I was on my phone, you guys caught me on my phone, and I was like gonna throw it away. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you messaged Root X and she said yes.
No.
Well, that'd be a yes, but
he didn't announce it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the bit where Joe asked him like, what's your plan? Because they talked about like foreign affairs and stuff as a thing that Kanye reckons he doesn't need to understand to be president, which was a whole thing. But he's like, well, like, in like terms of foreign affairs, you're going to be the commander-in-chief of like the biggest army in the world. Like, what does that mean to you? And Kanye just sat there stone-faced for like 10 seconds and just dead silent.
It was so funny.
And then he's like, honestly, like I'll surround myself with the right people. And then he stopped again. And he stopped for like a decent amount of time. And Joe was just kind of looking at him. And he's like, I just said a prayer just then. What is happening? And he's like, because a lot of the podcast was like, the Lord will tell me to do, and like, the Lord told me to make shoes without laces, and the Lord will provide.
So basically, you're telling me that Kanye is a crazy man.
Yeah. I've never met someone who 100% backs himself the way Kanye does. Like his whole presidential platform was that his whole presidential platform was, when I get into office and I know all of the information, I 100% of the time make the correct decision.
Because he was $5.4 million in debt. He made a point of that. He also made a point of farming. Like he was talking about like creating a monastery, like a big the future of monasteries, and it's this big like arena that he's built. That he wants to build.
The Thunderdome.
Yeah, basically
the Colosseum.
Right? Yeah.
Bro, the bit where he was talking about that school that he built.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wanted the whole thing to be based off the 4 elements: earth,
it wasn't
water,
a school,
fire, and air.
I thought it was like a whole community. I thought he was building a town. No, and I was like, and then this is just a cult. He's explaining a cult, and then he's like, I want it off the 4 elements, like Avatar Kanye. It's so fucking funny. He's like,
and then so he's like, I spoke to the engineers, and he's like, I want this whole thing to run off water, and the guy was like, we can't make it run off water.
We have to do solar panels.
You have to do solar, and he's like, the Lord will provide.
It was so weird. It was like
solar panels cause fire. Like wouldn't that?
Look, Joseph, don't break it. Don't read into it.
It was so strange. It was the perfect like dichotomy of like somebody who's actually like got mental issues.
I think
like
he's
not to bag those, obviously, but like
someone who hasn't treated them. Like,
well, there was a whole thing. Trust me, you know how much Joe loves drugs. He was trying to ask him about what drugs he was on for his bipolar,
and he didn't know. And then he was like, and then Kanye was like, I didn't like being on the medication. And then Joe was like, then why didn't you just refuse to be on the medication? And he freezes and he goes, and then just starts talking about something else. It was so fucking weird. It was so strange.
I think the most important piece of information that we got from the podcast, though, was that Kanye is a prequels fan.
Yeah.
Wait,
There was
what?
one bit where he's talking about his presidency and like why he was going to make the right decision, and because he kept like shitting on Disney for some reason, like Disney Star Wars. It was a recurring theme.
I don't-
And he was like, like George Lucas. He was like, you believe it or not, some people are saying that the Disney sequels are better than George Lucas's prequel films. And I was like, because they are. And he's like, that was George Lucas's heart, man. You can't come in and tell him. And Joe's like, yeah, I agree. What the fuck is happening? And like, man watches movies. I will give him that. He like every 10 minutes he made a film reference to like an actual movie. I was like, oh, good reference, Kanye.
And then he starts talking about wanting to ban abortion, and you're like,
Yeah.
Well,
He did.
I'm not giving him abortion. People should have abortion. 3 dudes shouldn't be talking about abortion. So
Yes.
because we have no say on the matter, so we're not going to talk about abortion. But I've never heard someone like Kanye. When Donald, I feel like, is making decisions, like he backs himself 100%, believes himself in 100%, but he knows he's a piece of shit still. Like it seems sinister when Donald's doing it.
He knows he's doing the wrong thing, but he does it because it's going to line
Kanye
his
brought
pocket.
like a sense of childlike innocence to his like. It was arrogance isn't the right word. It was more ignorance than anything. That like he felt like he wasn't fallible. Like it was insane listening to him speak because it sounded so like genuine. But it's like, you're a crazy person. There was one point where he goes like, yes, I am a genius. I will admit that.
Yeah.
But I was like,
He
what?
did.
Hold on.
I remember that. It was so weird. It was so strange.
Oh, and then he was making like a political quote, and he like said it, and then he repeated it, and then he repeated it again, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm just like saying it good so that when someone cuts this out and samples it in a song, it sounds good." I was like, "What? What is happening?"
He's a producer even when he's not producing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Actually,
god.
an interesting thing was he talked about how he got his start in the music industry, and he'd taught himself to code when he was 8, and he was making video games, and then doing the audio for the video games is when he discovered that he liked music, like doing music. So
That's
that's
pretty
a cool.
That's
Kanye
very
as a
cool.
gamer. Yeah, that was
Kanye's
actually
gamer.
cool.
Yeah.
Well,
But
to,
that's-
to stay on something political. Oh, okay, you go first, and then
I was gonna
change
say
something.
like, he did have some pretty fucking terrible takes.
I thought you were gonna say good takes. I was like,
No. But nothing was like inherently,
other than the abortion thing.
yeah, other than the abortion thing, and maybe like the equivalency of music contracts to rape.
Oh yes, when he said music artists are getting raped.
Yeah. He brought
Wrong
up the Me
verb.
Too movement. Like, but
Yeah, that was
yeah,
pretty bad.
like, but
Did you guys
but the
miss that
sense-
when you were thinking about the podcast? Like, what?
no, I was gonna say.
that was right at the start, and
That was
Lisa
right
just
at
kept
the start,
saying
yeah.
outrageous things, and then he'd be like, "The Me Too movement," but I'm a billionaire now, so.
Like,
Bro, there was a point where he said, like, if I don't, I might not win in 2020. I know I'm gonna win in 2024.
2024, yeah.
And then Joe said, like, if you win at some point, and then he corrected him to saying,
so
like, when I win.
yeah.
Oh god.
No, I thought it was Joe correcting himself to saying when you win.
Joe corrected himself another time after Kanye
yeah.
said it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So apart from those two, like everything he was saying, like I read a good comment was like an arm's length away from a coherent thought.
But it was like, so there was a point where he talked about when it was like when they were talking about the national debt and stuff, where he was like, like we'll provide for everyone. Like there's not actually scarcity. The wealth isn't like distributed right or whatever. And they moved. They were doing a bit where like because Kanye would just ramble, like he'd make like a bell noise and they just change topic to stop him from talking. And they did that, and like they moved on to the next topic. But like Joe kind of like did like under his breath aside, like well, there are the financial realities of the situation. Like you can't just snap your fingers and redistribute the wealth.
Well, you can.
And there was a lot of that.
It's just not legal.
The infrastructure's not in place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of that, like where he was talking about wanting to build like a utopia, and he was saying things like, "Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. You don't have the means to implement that. Like the infrastructure simply does not exist to do what you're trying to do."
Yeah.
He was honestly, I mean, he's fucking delusional. Is what it is. Like he thinks the world is better than it is.
So I was talking to my dad, and he works for basically construction. Like he's in construction, and he's talking to his bosses, and his bosses were talking about Trump, and they're pretty conservative. They're like I think the religion is Brethren, and they were talking about how Trump's really good. He's brought, and at least they're talking about the manufacture, like the economic side of his stuff. Now he's brought back, manufacturing to America and all this sort of that, and making, giving all the locals some money sort of back, industrializing America again. And then the next point was, and it's keeping it so cheap because again all the Mexicans to work there.
Shit.
I've already heard this story. I knew the twist.
Oh.
So my dad was sitting there like, "Fuck me." He's like, "Oh my god." That's the mentality of people.
People are
Yeah.
silly.
No,
People
I
are
will
silly.
reiterate the Slalt Cast's official stance on the US politics are that human life is the most important, like human rights is the most important thing. So that if you're voting for Trump because you reckon his economic policies are better or not, it's a non-issue at the moment. The fact that basic human rights aren't even being upheld is the main issue. And if you vote Trump, you're a piece of shit.
But
There's no but.
Though if you vote Biden, still a piece of shit.
I mean, it's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'd say so. Voting Biden or independent is the better thing to do. I'd say
Yes.
even voting independent at this point is
But that just
may
won't
as well
happen.
be voting
It won't
Trump. You're just
no,
throwing
it's-
away your vote because you got to think about it. The right are all voting for Trump,
yeah,
and the left are splitting their vote among
splitting,
Biden and the independents, and which is why they're not winning. Like we can't be 100% sure. There's a number of factors, but like it definitely. I feel like the priority number one at this point should be to get Trump out of office.
Yes.
Saying that as an Australian who doesn't live in America, but
yeah.
I feel like that should be, priority number one.
Yeah, but
Anyway, that's our American politics
ScoMo,
segment.
but
Fucking oath we do.
Just a friendly reminder to friends who have not. Make sure you sign the Murdoch Royal Commission.
Yep, I'll post
do
that
that,
link
do
again.
Yeah, do that.
We hate the Murdoch press.
We hate the
Well, my
Murdoch.
Our
homies
podcast
hate
should
the
be the
Murdoch
only
press.
source of information in Australia.
did you see that there's a sort of plan going around? I don't know if it's a plan, but they're having a look at doing a universal base income around
okay.
18,500.
That's been.
I think that's
awesome.
That's sort of been on the table for a while. I think a lot of countries
Well,
that are more
because
sort of
you say
socialistic.
that, and the argument against it is communism.
Yeah.
Kobe's disappeared. He's
Yeah.
done the same thing you have.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, he has.
I did the wrong thing. I did the same thing Joseph
Yeah.
did. I did the same thing Joseph did.
No, but yeah, I saw that, and because apparently there's some sort of that. I think reading the article, something like that in Norway, one of the Scandinavian countries, or I think they maybe ran it in a certain area in those countries, and it was actually they worked out that people weren't working less hard. They were actually working harder because they didn't have to fend for basic necessities.
Yeah, well, like when you increase the quality of life across the board, morale's higher. People work better when their morale's higher. That's like a known fact.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
There's a
you
direct
look at
correlation.
working on. Compare it to this week of work. I had a pretty shit Tuesday. Just mentally couldn't be bothered. So wasn't a happy Tuesday, and you could tell the office wasn't happy. No one was doing a lot of work. Everyone was kind of just down, And then comes to Friday, everyone's fucking.
Oh, mate.
The whole place was buzzing. Everyone was just talking but doing work at the same time, and you could tell that it was a better quality of life at the office. And
Yeah.
stats showed today that we actually did more work on the Friday than we did the rest of the week. So I think that's sort of a little test in our own sort of backyard. Yeah, I think a base income is actually really good.
Well, the big issue is obviously where does the money come from, and that obviously is taxes, and then because the reason that that's a hard sell is that the people that benefit from it aren't the ones who are paying for it.
Yes.
The rich will have to be taxed a fair amount, which they don't want to be, and then it helps
Daniel,
the
can
poor.
you? I can't believe you said that.
Guys,
Are you suggesting that rich people should be taxed fairly?
Guys, I'm sorry. The rich should pay. Jeff Bezos, you keep those tax dollars. You don't need your money, and you continue to operate in Australia and pay no taxes. Don't you worry.
If our government bought out our gas and mining, instead of privatizing it all, we'd be as rich as Abu Dhabi, and we'd be as wealthy as those oil countries. If our government...
That's another thing that's almost impossible to sell is, I don't know, the government buying up industry.
Well, no. It was in the 80s. What was the prime minister? Was it not Bob Hawke?
The one that got fired.
Not Gough
The
Whitlam.
Medicare bloke. Yeah, he was a gun.
Yeah, but he
Best PM we've
spent
ever
too
had.
much money.
Gough. Yeah, but we are literally still benefiting from it. Like subsidized education, Medicare. Like
Yeah.
Oh no, that wasn't him. Was that Gough Whitlam?
No, that was Gough Whitlam.
that was all Gough Whitlam.
Was he the one? I can't remember. But one
It was definitely Medicare. Yeah.
because there was
We
the
weren't
there was a
alive.
prime
It
minister
doesn't
that
matter.
brought in what was it? All at once was Medicare, superannuation, all
Mm.
that shit, which is just the best.
Basically everything that. Yeah, I don't know.
which
He
is
could have
just
got
the best
UBI
stuff.
through the line.
Yeah, but yeah, apparently like there was a plan for like Australia to buy a lot of our sort of industry and like our reserves. I think natural gas we have an abundance of. Is it natural gas? One of the
Yeah.
things we have an abundance of.
Natural gas is fucked up. They can just like, if it's on your property, they can just be like, we are mining it. Well, you don't mine gas. We are pumping it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know what kind of power source is real cool though?
Calm. If you say nuclear, don't say nuclear.
It's nuclear.
It's better than coal, but it's still not great. Just do
Yeah,
solar.
just do solar. You're creating a two-step program instead of a one-step.
you're-
Just do
you're-
fucking solar. How hard is it? We literally, especially in
Really
Australia, when the sun is so powerful that people come from Europe and they get burned in winter,
Mm.
and the fucking skin cancer rates are massive here.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
literally killing us.
Yeah.
Use solar. It's really like. I understand
Joseph,
the
I'm
infrastructure's up
surprised that we agree on that. Honestly, I would have thought you would have been a proponent for nuclear.
there. Why?
I don't
There's
know.
It makes no sense. But
I think it might. Sorry, it might be Blake who's the nuclear.
no, Blake's the-
It's
Blake
No,
was
definitely
Blake,
nuclear.
Blake is vehemently against anything renewable. I remember he
He-
said once that it costs more. Oh, sorry, you lose money having solar panels because they don't make enough power to run one home.
maybe like 10
You
years
know
ago.
that-
Now they
Maybe, yeah.
excess.
High school is bleep out but the local high school, the public high school, not the school we went to, but it's pretty close by, completely solar powered,
Oh,
Yeah, they've got
Um,
all of them on top.
and they're so solar efficient that they actually put energy back into the grid,
Well, that's how
and
they work,
get
isn't
like
it?
they get money back from it.
That's how solar panels work. You're buying them to
Mm.
sell it back to the grid.
You pay yourself, and then excess you can sell back.
It's yeah.
So it's actually, you make your money back. We're getting solar panels installed next week.
Well, we're
nice.
trying to, but apparently we don't have the room on the roof for the certain way the sun goes
oh.
Yeah.
to put them on. But we keep trying to like see different like companies that will just put them on somewhere.
Look,
put 'em
just
all
buy
over.
a bunch of those portable chargers that have
Just put 'em
solar
on the
panels on them,
roof.
and just like, I'm talking like buy like 1,000 of them, and we'll just tape them together.
If we literally could just like get a bit of desert that no one fucking uses, just
Oh, but
ScoMo, just build a highway.
See, there is issues with that. So I
Yeah.
guess a solar station out, you put it next to Uluru, should be right. The issue is getting the power back
Yeah, no, that's
to
yeah.
civilized areas, and like batteries
yeah,
are
you
pretty
lose a lot
bad for
of-
the environment as well.
yeah.
So there's that, and if you're trying to transmit it over wires, you'll lose
Yeah.
so much of it. But which also, if you're making enough, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. What's the country that exports their energy? Because is it Austria? There's a particular country that makes so much solar energy and hydro and wind that they export it.
It'd have to be Europe, and they
It's-
just kind
yeah.
of shove a USB cable under the ground, and the country
Yeah.
plugs in.
It's like how we get our internet from Japan.
yeah, until they cut the cable. A shark bites it or whatever the fuck happened for that.
No,
long
what do
period
you
of
mean?
time.
They've got it surrounded by obsidian. It's really hard to break underwater.
I hate you. We streamed Minecraft. We had a fucking good stream tonight, Kobe.
Oh,
It
You
started
know-
rocky. It started really rocky.
you started really
but-
rocky.
When we were playing, we played like an hour of Portal 2 co-op, which is an old game.
Mhm.
But we made some goofs. Once again, I know we keep plugging the Twitch, but I'm having a lot of fun streaming. I don't
Yeah.
care if these guys are having fun; they have to do it because I'm having fun.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, well, I imagine we're going to play more Portal 2, and there's definitely going to be a lot of parts because we did not progress much in the
No, we
time
didn't.
that we played. So Mondays and Wednesdays and other days, just keep your eyes peeled. Post it on the Instagram.
Yes.
Speaking of content owned by Amazon, Borat, the
Borat.
sequel movie film.
I haven't
or whatever
seen
the
it.
fuck it's called.
Subsequent movie film.
I haven't seen it either, but
I
Kobe,
have seen it.
give us your spoiler-free review. How does it hold up?
Spoiler free. It's good. I don't remember the first one being political.
Wow, very
Wah, wah,
nice.
wah.
King in the castle. King in the castle. I
I don't remember the first one being as political as this one. And
I don't think it
definitely-
would have been.
Yeah, no. this one, like, it's just got so many gaffes and goofs. It's really funny. It's hard to not talk about it without spoiling it because, like, of the shit that happens.
Give us, like, the basic premise is it's, like, in relation to current US politics, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, yeah.
Like, Michael Pence is, like, a character.
Yeah, like, he dresses up in a KKK outfit at the RNC, runs through it, goes into a
you sure that's not
bathroom,
Eric Andre?
No, it's
The lines
it's
are really
Sacha
getting
Baron
blurred
Cohen.
here.
Yeah. And then he changes into a Trump suit, gets the female co-star and runs into... Like, it's an actual thing that happened. And it was at the beginning of the coronavirus too, where Mike Pence
Yeah, a lot of it was shot this year.
Yeah, Mike Pence was like, there's 15, deaths already or whatever, or 15 cases, but it's all going to be under control. And then, like, you hard cut to where the US is now, and it's just so fucking hilarious.
My thing is, how do people not realize, like, it's Borat? Like, when the first did it, like, yeah, but it's like a famous character now. Like, people didn't stop quoting that shit for fucking 10 years.
There's a
My
point,
wife.
There's a point where he stays with these two guys. I don't know if it's scripted or not. Like, I have no fucking clue. They weren't in the end credits. At least I didn't see them.
Oh, because apparently a bit of it's scripted, this one.
Yeah. And, like, he's staying at their place, so, like, I'm pretty sure... Like, it's in the trailer, it's like, I'm going to get the virus, and he's hitting the wall with a pan. And the guys are talking... the guys are, like, talking about QAnon conspiracies. And then they go to this alt-right group rally, and, like, they're getting B-roll footage of, like, people Hitler saluting and shit like that. And it's like, so It's that thing of... You see it a lot, but then you get these people on camera doing, like, shady shit, like, really fucked up shit. And it's like, how do you, like, get anywhere near that, like, not even, they are getting caught. And then the end is just so, like, absolutely fucked up. Like, you have to watch it because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, no, we might do a Slalt Cast watch party. We'll figure it out off air, but keep your eyes peeled once again on the Instagram.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, so they've been marketing it a lot. You've definitely seen an ad for it if you've been on the internet. Where I wasn't expecting to see it is TikTok.
And wait, an ad for what?
The Borat too.
I haven't seen an ad for it. I can tell you.
Haven't watched anything on Amazon or Twitch.
Yeah.
Or been on TikTok or Instagram or...
I literally have not seen it. Yeah, okay, but go on. Sorry, I ruined
so
a bit.
there's like an official Borat TikTok where he's doing TikToks and it's pretty funny. What I didn't expect to see was him doing TikToks with David Dobrik. So yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen was at David Dobrik's house, and there was like the main one. It was like him just wrecking shit in David Dobrik's house. So there was one where he drove like his fucking van up, like onto his driveway, and then David Dobrik had one of his Teslas there with the door open, and he drove into the door and knocked the door off the Tesla. I was like, okay.
They would have 100% subsidized it, I'd assume.
Well, David Dobrik makes enough money, and I'm sure he has some with the number of Teslas he's bought. Yeah. Like that, they have some.
And also, I just want to point out, Teslas aren't that good.
Yes, they are. Shut up.
Oh, the actual electric cars from actual car makers are better.
Yeah, but it's the thing of they've like gotten rid of the headphone jack on phones. They've like forced innovation. Like, do you think those electric cars from those actual...
Tesla is the Apple.
Well, no, when they were doing like, well, before they started doing mainstream ones, but when they were doing like race electric cars, those cars were fucking amazing.
Well, yeah, but
they're doing another Roadster, full electric Roadster, which is supposed to be. I remember talking. Fucking, this is a Joe Rogan centric episode of the podcast, but one of the older ones. I think it might have been the one where he was smoking weed. Elon. And they were talking about the new Roadster. It was just either just before or just after they were announced. And basically how the new Roadsters, they can do 0 to 60 in as fast as you want them to, depending on how much you want to pay. Because they literally have rocket thrusters on them, and it's just how many like tanks do you want, and like how pressurized you can just pay more, and they can do a better pressure system. Because it's literally. You have like a gas tank that recharges as you drive, and then when you want to take off, you press the button and it's fucking rocket thrusts you as fast as you want.
Oh my god,
it's mad.
Yeah, those cars are insane. But no, I'd say the Tesla is definitely the Apple of the electric car game. They have the coolest tech innovatiest, in quotes. like fancy looking electric
yeah,
cars.
Well, they have the
it's just
monetary
nice to
backing.
see somebody. It's just nice to see a company like push through the mainstream of normal car companies. Like,
It's been a long
They
time
made
since
it
there's
a
been
they made it
disruptor
a
in that
premium,
industry.
so rich people will think it's cool, and when rich people buy things, everyone else starts buying.
Well, but
them.
they're making like the Model 3. So basically, the plan with Tesla was you make the Roadster, you make a super like a hypercar, and then you sell it to fund the luxury car, which is the Model X, and then you make the luxury car, you sell that to sell kind of like the top range sedan, which is the Model S, and then you make that to fund the
budget.
like the general they're not budget. It's still $35,000 US $35,000 car, but you make that car, you make the Model S to fund the Model 3, which is the more affordable option. Like a $35,000 car is US dollar. It's still
So
like an expensive
it's like
car,
50,000 for us.
but like
isn't it?
upper middle,
60.
but like an upper middle class person could afford that,
Yeah.
hypothetically. And then eventually the Model 3s get cheaper and cheaper as more and more of them get made. The production,
Well, that's
They
what,
still
that's
have
what
the
most car
production issues
companies
they
do
have.
as well, like sort of thing.
yeah. Well, it's been, but that they did that like 100 years ago, not 100 years ago, but like they did that way back when. It's the first disruption in like the motor industry we've had in forever, and it's a good thing that it's electric cars as well, because that's something that we need to change. As much as petrol cars are cool, we're running out of petrol and they're killing the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm so torn on this one just because I love cars.
Yeah, I know, but petrol running out, we're not going to have any more
Yeah,
of it.
I know. That's the
Like,
thing.
there's going to be a point where you will go and you'll pull the nozzle for your $71 a litre petrol,
Yeah.
and
It's
one
gonna be
drop will
dripping
lose
like
out.
a 71-year-old man.
Ooh,
Cars are interesting.
I love cars.
Do you know what else is
Like
interesting?
everyone.
What else is interesting?
I had a topic and I've lost it. I don't know what I was going to
You're a big fuckhead.
Shit, I'm so dumb. Guys, I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Guys, let us know in the comments below. I don't know where you're listening to this, but if they have comments, probably not. DM us on Instagram. Would you guys like to see a video version of the podcast? Because I'm extremely happy with how much the video has made the conversation better. And I want you guys to keep Joseph accountable to keep him off his phone during the podcast.
Yeah. So, guys, we're back. Sorry for that. Joseph just went on a really, really racist,
He said,
misogynistic,
horrible
ableist
racist
rant.
thing.
It was
fun.
so fun.
Joseph can't be ableist, but
Yeah, so, you know, like Dan was saying before that, you know, we need to keep him accountable, like, to get off his phone so he gets off QAnon forums. And
I'm always
and
on.
shit
I'm
like
always
that.
on the QAnon forums.
you don't even know what...
I don't even know what
Can you
QAnon.
name one board that isn't /B on 4chan?
I've actually never been on 4chan. Actually, no, I did.
yeah, I don't make a habit of looking at child porn, so I don't go on 4chan.
So, yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of the podcast. Hey, Dan, where can everybody find you?
No, you don't get to do this.
I've started it. I've buried the lead.
He's right. He is right. You can find me at DanielF737 on Twitter and Instagram. Also, be sure to check out twitch.tv/SlaltCast Mondays and Wednesdays. We're having a lot of fun. It's big fun times.
Hey, Joseph, where can they find you?
Where can the super young children find you?
They can find me at Via Garibaldi on Insta.
Do you want to spell that out for the kids? Because
VIA. I'm looking up the rest of it.
I was going to say, does it have a
VIA.
dot?
Fake Italian.
Dot GARIBALTI. Yep, that's the
on
name.
Instagram.
Recent post was a garlic and potato pizza.
When are the boys getting pizza again? We will talk about where we can find you later, Kobe. When are the boys getting pizza again?
I don't know. Literally, everything's booked. Like I had not booked as in, but just every weekend is completely
Hold up,
booked.
Kobe
from
just
now
brought
till-
scissors to his
Yeah,
neck.
what-
Kobe,
yeah.
don't do it.
Kobe,
Kobe,
what are you
please.
What? Oh,
You just held scissors up to your own
My pimple
neck.
hurts, and this is made of metal, so it's cold. So
Oh.
I
Okay.
did that.
And
So,
speaking of
yeah.
cold, where can the kids find you?
I just before that, I also played a prank on Joseph, the other week, like a few weeks ago,
it
while
was
you
you that he
penetrated
slept
me?
with, not. Oh.
What?
When he penetrated me,
No.
that was a pretty weird prank.
No,
Funny, but
I
weird.
What are you doing, step bro?
I unfollowed Via Garibaldi on the Slalt Cast Instagram.
Yeah, no, I did notice that, and then I saw when it
Did
followed
you-
me back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I followed it back. I was like,
Yeah.
hang on. I'm surprised Joseph didn't follow the account. I
I
realized.
played a
didn't
pretty
realize-
funny prank. Anyway, you can find me.
Joke's
at
on you, I blocked Southbound. No.
You can find me at _55 Kobe55_ on Instagram. And
Can you
also
change
at-
your Instagram handle to just 55Kirby55? When you go to @you, it doesn't come up.
Yeah, it's yours is.
It's very
pain in the
annoying.
ass, especially
'cause
when I'm
it's-
trying to tag.
You just need to remember that it's an underscore.
No, but even when I do the underscore, it's like it could be anyone, and I have to type like most of it out.
Okay, sorry.
Change it.
No. And then you can also find me at South_bound_band on Instagram. And also
Southbound 78 on Bandcamp.
Yeah, on Southbound 78 on Bandcamp. And like to close it out, Joseph, would you like to show us one talent? I know the audience can't see it, but would you just like us just show us one talent? Right, he's getting up.
It's amazing that any one human
Wow.
can have that much foreskin.
It's so his penis is so small. It's
He
so
stretched it
fucking
all the way
ridiculous.
over his 11th toe.
Jesus,
Oh, wow.
that's awful.
I wish my nose was bigger. Get a chin,
I don't
Kobe.
think you can. I don't think you can
Look
say
at,
that
look at
on
your little
Twitch.
fucking weird ass ears, Kobe. Lack of ears, little bit.
I'm wearing
Little
headphones.
tiny ear boys, so small they're hiding.
Look at your little gunshot headphones. Oh, headphone ears.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to leave a positive rating wherever you're listening from, and to follow our socials at Slalt Cast on Twitter and Instagram.